On November the 29th, 2021, a Navy commander told his community the water was safe to drink. He said he and his staff were drinking it themselves. That same day, Hawaii's Department of Health declared the water too dangerous to touch. This is how one of America's most powerful military bases ended up poisoning the people it was built to protect. Nearly 100,000 service members and their families live and work around Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. This animated cross-section diagram shows what sits just miles from that base, the Red Hill Bulk Fuel Storage Facility. It is a massive underground network of World War II-era fuel tanks. And directly below it, separated by just 100 feet of rock, is a pristine aquifer that supplies drinking water to 93,000 people. In 2014, one of those tanks ruptured, spilling 27,000 gallons of jet fuel into the surrounding rock. The military absorbed the loss, but the physical warning signs were largely ignored. Instead of overhauling the aging infrastructure, contractors proposed a cheaper fix for the facility's fire suppression system. They installed PVC piping, a material known to chemically degrade when it comes into direct contact with jet fuel. That structural weakness was tested in May 2021. During a transfer error, 20,000 gallons of jet fuel spilled. Military officials couldn't find the missing fuel and assumed it had safely drained away. Instead, it had flowed directly into that isolated PVC pipe. For 6 months, those 20,000 gallons of jet fuel sat trapped in the dark, eating through the brittle plastic lining of the fire suppression line. What happened next was a mathematical certainty. A facility built on compromised materials and deferred maintenance was guaranteed to fail. The physical break happened on November the 20th, 2021. A worker driving a cart through the tunnels accidentally bumped into a valve on that compromised PVC pipe, cracking it open. Pressurized jet fuel burst from the fitting at full blast. For 34 continuous hours, a river of amber liquid poured onto the tunnel floor. The lone worker, who tried to stop the flow, was completely doused. The facility's concrete floors were porous, and in the spill's path was a fire suppression drain. That drain connected directly to the Red Hill drinking water well, located just 380 feet away. Facility pumps pulled that tainted groundwater up and pushed it into the municipal lines. Millions of gallons of contaminated water were distributed to thousands of military family homes. Days later, residents noticed a heavy kerosene smell from their taps. The water separated into a yellowish, oily film the moment it hit the sink. Emergency rooms quickly filled up. Children reported crumbling teeth. Toddlers developed chemical burns after baths. And family pets became violently ill. As the crisis mounted, Navy leadership circulated an internal communication plan. Their official directive was to tell the public, there do not appear to be any indications that the water is unsafe. The state of Hawaii's Department of Health had seen enough. On November the 29th, they officially issued an emergency do not drink advisory for the entire area. Yet on that exact same day, the local base commander sent a message to the community assuring them the water was fine, claiming he and his staff were still drinking it themselves. The Navy prioritized damage control over public safety. Families were encouraged to keep drinking, cooking, and bathing in jet fuel for days. While leadership tried to manage the public relations fallout, public pressure eventually cornered the military. The Navy admitted fault and agreed to permanently shut down and defuel the Red Hill facility. But institutional accountability never arrived. No one faced disciplinary action for the cover-up, and the base commander who told families the water was safe quietly retired with a military honor. Now, in 2026, the physical leak is contained. The battlefield has shifted from the underground tanks in Hawaii to the federal court system. Families sought compensation for their lifelong medical trauma, asking for up to $1.25 million per person. Instead, early court rulings awarded a conservative fraction of that, with payouts ranging from just $5,000 to $100,000. The legal fight only got harder. In February 2026, plaintiffs learned the government had drained and tainted the residual fuel samples from the pipeline. The exact evidence needed to link the specific chemicals to their long-term health issues was effectively destroyed. Then the military deployed its ultimate legal shield, the FAIRS Doctrine. This long-standing rule blocks active duty service members from suing the federal government for injuries. The Justice Department is currently arguing that being poisoned by a military fuel leak inside a military-provided home is simply an occupational hazard, an injury that is, in their words, incident to service. The underground tanks at Red Hill are finally empty. But for the 93,000 people who drank the water, the crisis continues. They are now fighting a legal system that shields the polluter and abandons the poisoned.